Released October 18th, 2022 by developer Illphonic and publisher Nighthawk Interactive for Xbox Series consoles, PS5, Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed allows you to strap on your proton packs and go ghost hunting or find out what the shoe feels like on the other foot by allowing you to also enter the spirit realm and become one of those pesky ghosts. If you grew up watching the Ghostbusters or are a part of the younger generation who liked the reboots, you'll probably love this. However, if much like me you've outgrown the I ain't scared of no ghosts era and have no interest in the shiny new versions, then busting may not make you feel so good after all. Thanks to the publisher for the review key.
50% haunted.
The story of Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, while having no real depth, will work fine for old or new fans looking for some continuity. I haven't watched any of the new Ghostbusters films, and I haven't been keeping up with the lore over the years, but what seems to be happening here is, the Ghostbusters seem to have gone through the same roller coaster rides we saw as far back as the original films. The city loves them today, hates them tomorrow. Some of these misunderstandings were cleared up, and now the old guys, two of the original Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson, are back at it, rounding up young new recruits, and you just so happen to be one of them.
Well, look at you! How do you feel?
Ready to roll.
You now have to learn the ropes, get to work, and rid the city of their ghostly inhabitants. Sounds familiar? It should. As much as I have not watched any of the new films, I suspect it's the same old story being told again and again with minor tweaks and variations. I believe one of the more recent film's gimmicks was female Ghostbusters. Anything to keep the franchise going, I suppose.
That's what we like to hear.
The visuals here are pretty good. A lovely cartoon-styled aesthetic. It does have that crisp AAA quality. I can't honestly complain here. The devs did a great job of making this look real good. Character details are great. The ghosts are well designed and so are the environments. Your gear, the proton packs, the traps, the particle effects all play their part in bringing Spirits Unleashed to life. Then the sound. The voice acting here is AAA, as expected, with Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson reprising their roles, and them being the seasoned actors they are, I'd expect nothing less than quality performances.
Welcome, kid. Happy to have you on the team.
All other voice actors played their parts equally well.
As you might have inferred, I run the lab here at Ghostbusters HQ.
Where music is concerned, we've got the Ghostbusters theme song, which I won't play here for obvious reasons, but it's as catchy and infectious as it always was. All other music sounds great as well. Sound effects, another thumbs up. All your blasts, explosions, and ghostly otherworldly sounds are on point. Even the lip syncing seems tight.
Someone from the old guard has to hold down the fort, you know?
The gameplay here, for me at least, is what truly defines this experience, as it should. But let me elaborate. It's like I said, if you're a fan, like a real big fan, then you'll be right at home here. There is a chance that, fan or not though, you may be looking for a bit more than what's presented here, but you should still feel comfortable with what's on offer, at least for a while. Before getting into it though, let me say, it would have been great if this game had more meat on the bones. Let me use Marvel's Spider-Man games as an example. Spider-Man was my favorite superhero growing up, and although I long outgrew the grown men in tights flying, swinging, and prancing about in public with ridiculous names nonsense, I still played Marvel's Spider-Man and hold firm to this day. It's an absolute masterpiece of a game. You see, I don't even like superheroes anymore. I don't watch any of the movies. That's right, I have not watched an Avengers movie, not even Black Panther, so I'm completely done with the whole superhero rubbish. But I can still say that Spider-Man game was great. My point is, whether I outgrew these things or not, once presented well, I can still hop on board and put any bias aside, because great gameplay and a good story will do that. Here in Spirits Unleashed, while the gameplay is good for what it is, neither the gameplay or story was interesting. After playing this for a few hours, it got old.
Well, this certainly puts a spanner in the works.
The gameplay loop was just not for me. If they created this in the same vein as Sony did Spider-Man, with substance, a captivating story with equally engrossing gameplay, then whether I've outgrown the franchise or not, I'd still love the game. It's not like after completing Marvel's Spider-Man, I went out and started buying the comic books, action figures, and watched all the movies. Hell no. But the game, all by itself, was really good. I cannot say the same, however, for Spirits Unleashed.
Trust me, we've seen a lot worse.
And I'm not saying this is a bad game, I'm simply saying there isn't much to it. Nothing here is gonna win me over. On startup, we've got a lot of options: accessibility, controls, gameplay, sound, and video, enough here to suit the pickiest players. Then once you get started, you're given really generous, truly flexible character customization options. You're able to customize to one's heart's content. For players who spend more time than they're comfortable admitting customizing a video game character to their liking, they'll be doing backflips and cartwheels here. Then you've got a pretty deep tutorial to get you on your way, like the true ghostbusting pro you were destined to be. You can even play as a ghost once you've unlocked the ghost realm later on. Once you feel like you're all set, you've been through all the introductions and basic training, you'll need to find jobs. Locations all over the city with ghostly infestations. You arrive on a location with either AI or human teammates. Use your PKE meter to close rifts, which allow ghosts to respawn. Use said meter to track ghosts, and once you've found them, use your proton blaster to tether them. Set the traps down, open the traps, force the ghosts in the trap, rinse, repeat. Now there's a bit more to it, like calming civilians, trying not to rack up property damage and so on, but you get the idea. And this is where I have issues with Spirits Unleashed. This feels like a Ghostbusters version of Left 4 Dead, just less exciting and at times way more frustrating. Spirits Unleashed is more of a casual multiplayer game for fans of the franchise. There's really nothing here that makes me want to keep going. As a multiplayer-focused game, maybe some more game modes would help, but without, like I said before, a deep and riveting story. Much like what we've seen in Marvel's Spider-Man or the Arkham games, more multiplayer modes still would not have cut the butter for me. I'm more into single-player experiences if you haven't noticed by now. Some of the frustrating moments come from 1. Finding the ghosts and rifts. There's no map of any kind to let you know where exactly they are, so you end up depending on the PKE meter, and maybe hearing me say this, if you're a fan, you're probably thinking, well, that's not bad, it adds to the challenge, and maybe you're right, but I didn't feel a challenge, I simply felt frustration. Then 2. When you do find the ghost and zap it, you have to, rodeo style, drag or push it into a trap. When it breaks the tether and vanishes, this too becomes frustrating. And again, if you always dreamt of being a Ghostbuster, you may find no problem with this. You're able to upgrade your gear though, so after each outing, whether you trapped the entity or it bested you, you'll have XP points to spend. With better gear comes higher chances of success, and that's great, but it's still just more of the same, which wasn't enough for me to be playing this game for anything other than review purposes. There is some, maybe a lot of fun here if you got some friends who are up to it. I can see people enjoying hours of this, especially since it's cross-platform, but fans only. Spirits Unleashed only preaches to the choir. There's nothing here that will be winning over any outsiders, and even fans may grow tired of its loop. What Spirits Unleashed offers is polished and balanced, but much like this game released last generation called Evolve, I see players losing interest real fast.
Trust me, we've seen a lot worse.
Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's say you're one of those who are in love with Spirits Unleashed and see nothing wrong here, then I must have pissed you off with this one. And you should act accordingly. Dislike, unsub, and whatever else it takes to make you feel vindicated. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.
It's over. The place is fully haunted.